What's up everyone? Lion Roar here, and it is August 1st, 2021, which means we have a brand new hero of the month, Chakkoszrot. Let's check him out. But first, join me over in Gemstone Legends. It's a fantastic match 3 RPG game, and it's players who get in early on games like this who are at the biggest advantage. Not only will you help the channel out by using the link in the description of this video, but if you use the code #lion_2021 you're gonna get a guaranteed free epic hero named Elidor, along with 5 more gold scrolls, that's more heroes, and a bunch of gold and gems. And after you download the game, you're going to have access to the beginner events, which is going to get you 1 more free epic hero named Soliana, and a bunch of free legendary equipment and a platinum scroll, which is again another free epic or legendary hero. Guys, wow. Just make sure to use that code within 3 hours of downloading the game and after completing the tutorial. And I will see you over in Gemstone Legends. Alright, so Chakkoszrot is a pretty epic looking mystical hero, so I've got to give him an appropriate narrator voice. Chakkoszrot is a 5-star legendary purple hero, druid class. He has a passive ability, mana buff per status ailment, receives plus 24% mana generation for 3 turns when this hero receives a status ailment. Another passive, resist direct mana reduction. This hero has an innate resistance against direct mana reduction. Attack 745. Defense 780. HP 1355. Alright, so those are some pretty good base stats. The defense in particular means this guy's going to be tough. The passives are nice because he is a slow hero, which we're going to find out in a moment. But if he does have a status ailment, he is going to speed up just a little bit. I'm not sure if it's enough. We'll see. It's all going to depend on what that special is. And the special is Stalling Spell. He deals 235% damage to all enemies. It's a good amount of damage with 745 attack, especially if you increase the attack with the talents. All enemies with a dispellable mana generation buff get negative 54% mana generation for 4 turns. This effect can't be cleansed. All enemies are immune to new buffs for 4 turns. And lastly, Elemental Link gives plus 10% increase for any healing received for all dark allies for 4 turns. This effect can't be dispelled. Alright, so let's go ahead and break this down. To be quite honest, I feel like the best thing going on with this particular hero is the deals 235% damage to all enemies. Everything else it does is just kind of bonus on top of that. He is a slow hero who maybe sometimes will be sped up a little bit, but a couple of the bullet points here, a bit of the text is super niche. And if you remember me talking about Divana, I thought Divana was pretty good against, well, Bira and Freya, but not very useful in pretty much the rest of the field. Sometimes, yeah, when you just need a dispel, you can bring her along, but she's not doing a ton of damage. But because of my concerns with her being a little too niche, meaning you only get to really have her be good in a certain circumstance and not in others, I'm thinking this is like ultra niche. Chakkoszrot, like, it isn't even part of the meta what he's got going on here. At least Divana has some heroes to go after who she can use her special against. I'm not sure who Chakkoszrot's going to go after, and even if he does go after them, he is not a defensive hero. This is not a defensive hero, so you don't put him on defense because he's really easy to just like... Okay, so you don't put status ailments on him, right? You know? You don't bring heroes that have the mana generation, right? So you got to use them on offense. Slow heroes don't work great on offense. Oftentimes the defense has gone off well before your slow hero has, and maybe even a couple of times. It's just the way the game works. Even if you bring slow heroes against slow heroes, the slow heroes on the other side tend to go off first. They just do. It's just the way the game works. All enemies are immune to new buffs for 4 turns. This one's going to be a little bit more relevant, I think, than the dispellable mana buff thing, which I think will like almost never happen. But immune to new buffs, that's going to be all right in the, you know, buff booster tournament. But again, he's slow, so they might just get their buffs off before he even goes off, and then what's the point, you know? And then gives 10% increase for any healing received to all dark allies for 4 turns. See, that would be cool if it applied first, and then he also gave some healing. But otherwise, that heal's a pretty useless one as well. And again, that incentivizes offense because it's for dark allies, and you're typically not loading up dark allies on defense. You're loading them up on offense. So as you can tell, I'm pretty down on this guy. For that reason, I give him a D+. I give him a D+. The plus part is because once in a while, you're going to be able to use the anti-buff part. And I mean, dealing damage to everyone, a lot of damage is pretty good. But I'll tell you what, his base stats are fine. The attack is actually pretty good for how much damage he's dealing to everyone. But when I think of another hero who this is similar to, I'm thinking like Horgal. But Horgal's attack down's at least a little more useful, I think. The problem being is Horgal's a little slower, and he doesn't get the mana speed up if there's a status ailment. So I think that Chakkoszrot ends up being just a tad bit better than Horgal. I just don't see where you're ever going to use him. If you've watched a lot of my videos on grading, you know that I grade like A's you're going to use all the time everywhere. Super awesome, useful hero. B is like, yeah, you can probably use him everywhere. Maybe not your very first choice or top tier hero, but very, very useful. C is like when you start to get into niche heroes that are like A's in certain circumstances, but like not most of the time. You know, D's, not very useful. Where are you going to use it? You know, in fact, I'm beginning to think that D+ might be a little too generous, because although I see a little bit of use with some of the special heroes, and to be quite honest, if you're like a newer player and you get him, he's going to be your best hero, right? So like you're going to get use out of him. I wouldn't feel bad ever getting a 5-star hero. You just may want to hold off on, you know, ascending him the full way until you get some more heroes and can make that decision. But yeah, D's to me are like ultra niche, useful sometimes. F's are just not useful. Like I just would never even work on an F. So that's why I give Chakkoszrot a D+. I don't know. What do you think? This is just my opinion, of course. Let me know in the comments. I think that overall, as far as Heroes of the Month go, it was about 9 months ago to a year ago, they started changing their philosophy on Heroes of the Month. I think they realized everybody was getting them. They're the easiest type of legendary hero to get, so they started powering them down. After Teleria really made them change their minds and think that maybe they shouldn't do overpowered Heroes of the Month. So they've been making the Heroes of the Month more niche. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad. It just means that they're only going to be useful in certain circumstances. This one's on the lower end of that. Very few circumstances you're going to use Chakkoszrot. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you know when I drop more videos or go live, and I will catch you in the next one.